Folks, it's Vic Noble here, and we're looking on February the 7th here, and just hopefully be able to demonstrate another scalp trade here. You're looking at the 1 hour Euro US in front of us here, and today there's just, in fact, this whole week it's not a very newsy week, so there's not a lot driving the market. We haven't moved very much today, and pretty lethargic. I'm looking at this area up here. Look at all of these old lows that used to be support in here. Really held well. 130.14 is that number, and it's also R1 today. So we're in the sell zone, well into the sell zone. So what we're going to do is put an order in to sell there, and which I've already done actually, and I will show that to you here. Let me just bring this across to the screen here. You can see what I've done. I've actually put my order in to sell 10 standard lots at 130.14, okay? And I've got a stop in here right now for 25 pips. That's actually quite a bit. I'm going to reduce that, I think, quite quickly when we get in. And I'm going to just try and snip 10 pips out of this, 130.04, which would be quite good because if you look at this, let's go back to our chart, we don't even have to get below the figure again of 130 to do that, which I don't know how significant the figure is in this area anyway. It's been up and down, above and below that figure quite a bit, so it's not a real big deal. But the point is that we don't have to go down very far, certainly not even down to these old highs back here, to make our scalp. So, and if you look at the our daily chart, and this is useful to do. I know we're scalping, but I mean, look what's happened here. This low right here has been pretty good resistance. And we're trading in this range in here, and so we're not really showing any signs of going anywhere fast right now. So really, we should have a pretty good chance of taking 10 pips out of the market in this area right here. Looking down to the 15-minute chart, the other kind of interesting thing is that the extension of this big move up, and then we had this consolidation. Goes right to our same number, 130.12. So we have a Fibonacci at 127 extension, and I think this might even show up better on the hourly chart. Let me have a look here. Well, here I already had it on here. This is the move I was talking about up here, and we've pulled back into this area, and a rally now up into this 130.14 to these old lows. I think that's a very good. We have like a lot of things up, but we have R1 pivot, we have an extension there, we have old lows there. We have this non-newsy kind of a day, so should have a pretty good chance of taking something out. We'll check back in later and see what happens. Okay, folks, looks like we're filled here. We just hit 14, and we're hanging in that area right now. We'll just check our dealing station. There we are, filled at 14. Currently we're obviously offside the pip spread right now, so we'll just hang in there with this. I want to see it get down into the spread right away, and then we're going to start to move our stop down accordingly. So it won't take too much here in that, and so I'll be back to you shortly, and we'll see how this pans out. Okay, back with you again here. We're just kind of hanging around this area. There's 9 now, so I'm going to move our stop down 5 pips here. We're currently at 30.39. Let's make it 30.34. Whoops, bring that over here. 30.34, and we have a 20 pip risk in that thing now, so no big deal. And when we get up a few more pips on this thing, then we're going to move it down some more. So I'll be back to you shortly. Okay, hi again, folks. We just hit 130.06 on the bid. That's nice. So you could have taken 5 pips out of this if you wish, if you want to really scalp this thing close to the vest. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my stop down again here a little bit, take more of the risk out of the trade. Just keep taking the risk out of the trade here. We're currently at 34. I'm moving it down to 24 now. So we've only got measly little 10 pips of risk in this, so that's not too bad. And as far as the chart goes, nothing really to comment on here. We're just, look how this resistance area that we identified has held very well here. It's tried to, it's spiked in here and backed off and spiked and backed off. So we'll just hang on to it and see what happens here. We should be, working. Looks like we're trying to work our way down here. And again, it's a very non-newsy kind of a day. There's your 5 pips again. See, 130.06, 130.05 now. Yeah. So, yeah, when we get down here to around 03 on the bid, we'll just put a break-even stop in there. I mean, we have no risk in the trade then, and you're within 2 pips of getting filled. And so, if and when that happens, I'll get back to you here, and we'll talk to you then. Okay, hi again, folks. Not much happening here. We're just hanging around in this area here. I'll show you what it looks like on the 15-minute chart. It's right here. And, you know, we can see as we hit our price up here, it's kind of stalled out here. I'm going to move the stop again and keep it a very, very small risk on this trade. The only consideration here is that if we were to make it above here by very much, we could go up and retest. Look at the extension up here, up at these old highs here, and so we won't live through that. So let's just put our stop now. Give it a 5 pip risk. Put our stop at 130.19, and here we are right here, and we'll just change that to 19, and there we go. Make sure there you go. You see it's at 19 right now, and we still have our profit objective sitting in here. And very, very low risk trade now. I mean, not much can go wrong here. And we'll just sit back and see what happens. Back to you shortly. Well, hi again, folks. Well, look at this. We actually went up and made some new highs in here, and it stopped us out. So we just had a 5 pip loss on this trade. Pretty good setup. Maybe the stop was too tight on this. We'll have to wait and see now. But it is rolling around up in this area here, and so we'll wait and see what happens with it. And, you know, this is going to be an individual thing, how you handle these stops. And so, you know, you can follow this yourself later and see how it unfolds. But in the meantime, we did get stopped out. We did take a 5 pip loss on this trade. Okay, so on to the next one.